I'm pretty sure that will be a great interview for everyone that is building a product right now, and everyone that is looking into product marketing or communities driven products, or like partnership buildings and all this stuff. And plus, today this is a huge topic. So community and partnerships, this is one of the things that stays sustainable in terms of, you were talking about sales, by the way, earlier. So in sales right now, the biggest trend is do partnership and community-led growth and co-selling and things like that, because this is what still works the best, even in a downturn economy, even when other things are not going so well. This stick, and so yeah, for all this reason, I think that we have a great interview.
But I think it's a great intro. The what is missing is one is community, and one is building an audience. A lot of companies struggle to understand the community brings values and learning and a common ground. And other things, the community means building an audience, which is a marketing tool, but it's not a community, it's a marketing tool. So this, I think,
Yeah.
I hope going to be the learning for community builders and to be. So the biggest learning from Esther from Amplitude was, Daniele, you're great. And she pursued the same because it's a community of practitioners. We want to
Yeah.
learn, want to do stuff. As soon you move from that, it's become
Yeah, it's going to be harder. It's going to be
yeah.
harder. No, but as soon as people feel that you are actually, exactly as you say, building a marketing audience instead of bringing value to a community, like it will go sideways. Like it's not going to have the same impact and the same growth after that. So I feel her. I think it's not about building personal audience and marketing audience. It's about bringing value to people, and then maybe out of this you will get some audience that you can sell to, when it makes sense. And it doesn't always make sense, and not for everyone. So that's fine. Hey, Daniele, it's pleasure, Daniele, to have you today for this ProdCamp interview, where we'll be talking about a really interesting topic, where you guys launched a product management community in Berlin in the past 6 months. And we wanted to spend some time talking about what's going on in this community, why you started this community, and where it can go. I'm so happy to welcome you, and please tell us who you are and where you speak from.
Thank you, Matteo, for so much energy. I really appreciate it. So something about me, Daniele Ronca from Italy, raised and born, and I study work as an architect. I want something challenging at the time was the World Cup in Brazil, but somehow we end up in Turkey. Why me and why the community? When I moved back in 2016 to Berlin, I fell so in love with Berliners that everyone or every second person have a pet project. This energy they want to try and test and do things. And I did, I don't know, my first community, which was fail, was called Weir, about architecture, but I think the sponsorship was missing at the time, and also the type of people. I've been part of EASA, which is a European Assembly Student Architecture, for 2-3 years actively. I mean, and there is like 500 students going every year, 2 weeks around Europe to build amazing architecture. Workshop about self-awareness or mindset, and in my case I was super in love with media and photography, and basically my best mentor is coming from there, or my first mentor, Sasha Konochenko. If you check in Instagram, is amazing. Saying so, I was amazed by Berlin, and I built my first 2 apps. Both failed most of the time for the team. Agenda commitment, even though we had some grant for Berlin Startup Stipendium. The first was subleasing offices. Another one is a workation app. Fun enough, the subleasing offices is an interesting player in US. She's French, from Cody, that I still follow since, I don't know, many years, since the COVID time. In the workation app, I will have a chat for a potential worker. So even if you fail a lot, you have this kind of trace in your CV on your personal history. After that, I was lucky enough. I met my first mentor or in product management, and now he's one of the best friends I have in Berlin. It's Fabio Muroni, who is also founder now. Why the greatest? Because I think he's have a deep understanding of things and making questions, the right question. And say so. I thank you by him. I start to study a lot, like 2 books a month. And I found 2 years ago when finding a PM job was pretty easy for starters in Berlin. And it was an amazing team of engineers in Berlin. And they still serving the major real estate investment trust in Europe and the world. The first, the second, depend of the year. And I learned a lot about legal operation, who they are, how to go to the market, the pricing. Basically, they have this tool for this company, another few one. They wanted to go to the public market, let's say. The problem was like no capacity and maybe too much over simplify, or we crash against sales cycles, long sales cycle for corporate governance. The boss liked me a lot, so he already shared with me Excel sheet and explaining like how to stay more in the company, how to survive, and so on so forth. We tried to raise money, but it was not the right time, and we didn't have the right traction. And at the end of the day, I said, okay, maybe I'm gonna survive March, so last month. But I also find amazing advisor. And I think that we never know that, but I think the advisor suggests to close the team or the boss decide to close it. So funny enough, in summer we were talking about and I hiring 2 people, an amazing ex-lawyer into marketing and another sales guy for Copenhagen. And in October, basically, I received a mail that we cannot raise money, we cannot close these deals, so we're gonna take longer. So the best is cut the team and continue slower like they used to pay for them. I would say I was so much into it that I feel released. That finally I say, oh my god, I finally can move to a team more into product. The people there are great. Don't misunderstand that. But like there was no product culture, so I felt for a long time to be alone, to not know to whom to ask things. And luckily me, I found a TP list, which, for example, I found an amazing mentor. She is doing pricing, Amira, and she for B2B, she gave me so tons of feedback, like 2-3 hours free mentoring. So for me, ADP list was like a sacred grail for free. So saying so is a more or less an overview, like why I spend so much time as me as a case studies, because a lot of people say, hey, Daniele, you're doing great. I want to become product manager. The truth is you have to work a lot. And it took me to understand from architecture, find the right friends and mentors and allies, I would say 5 years. And I found after architecture, which was my love, another passion. So working for passion, not for money or for other type of personal gain, let's say.
That's naturally actually lead us to my next question, and I think that you provided already maybe some insights about that. And I feel like the journey you describe and your strive to get good contacts and good network and the right knowledge and know who to ask something is probably also what inspired you to initiate the Berlin product manager community. And maybe the gaps and the opportunity you described there that took you 5 years to get there. Maybe you want to provide that an easiest way for people to get that now via this community.
So that was one thing. It was EASA with the architecture community that I learned a lot. There was a lot of fails, and after you arrive in a particular time of history, like there is COVID that I think kind of killed many communities. One of the main communities sold to a company, so they become the feeling and the value changes, so it was also going down. And in Berlin, basically, there are some players, but they're not a community. They're like services. They also do events, and it's one vibe. Great people, but they are different vibes. And after, my main proxy was Berlin Pro Designer, led by Damian Martona, an amazing guy that he gives so many feedback, make you comfortable to start. I also say, hey, I'm sorry, I just copy paste your template. I'm not comfortable to have one speaker if something going bad, but I want two speakers and I want different type of feeling, but more or less the agenda is similar. I say, no, the more people we have in Berlin, the better is for the community, is the better for the tech community in Berlin. And that was one of the person like I felt, wow. I felt so much this wow that, okay, let's start it. And you always read it by that book, timing and being lucky. Time being lucky with experience is timing from COVID. Many know community and product management. Product management is a business role, really important for companies. So there is budget for this kind of role. There is interest, is a high salary, is an ambition stuff. So you have the important chunk. Lenny newsletter community came on, like the sponsor without too many questions for food and drinks. You just gather together. Now you see everywhere does the same. He's like the leader on everything. This guy is amazing, like God for product managers. Now you have the police that the same. You have other in community that the same. And I met basically Praj and Carlo at this event. It was summerish, maybe July last year. And I like it, but I felt, okay, you just have this money and there's no more. It's like, I mean, the main problem is having a community and a sponsor. You have both, so you can go beyond, no? And I will say thank you to my brother, as I always say to me, like, as Daniele, start alone and people are going to follow and not waiting for other people. So I say, guys, I want to organize my event. Let's see how it goes a bit better, like with already the stickers. And I want to meet people and see. It was already interesting. And another thing was interesting was like both of three love football. So Praj worked at One Football, have a strong community of Indians and practitioners in Berlin and Europe, I would say. And Carlo was working at HelloFresh. So timing, right people, different ages, different culture, even though me and Carlo same, I mean, he's more like Italian. It's the first experience abroad for him. For me, it's already the fifth or fourth. I forget already. So this difference of ages and experience are kind of wow, boom. And the community of Lenny, which is amazing. They support with Shre and Ria. They always been curious at the beginning, like why you're doing what you're doing and why you want going out of our guidelines. But after they just understood that maybe, hopefully, that we just like to do things experimenting, and that's we became kind of hub for them, I guess. I hope. So yes, as I said before, the personal need. I need to change company. I need for mentorship. I need get to know more senior level people, like 5 or 7 years versus me 2 years more or less. Um, and another things, I think we are pretty biased by Lenny. So all my studies came from Lenny and Lenny newsletter. Now finally is also the book around. And one of the things was like have a strong mission, and we put later, but not have a vision. Instead, give room to values. So we are all the three super curious. They want to push. We work a lot. Carlo works a lot. I don't know. Carlo can reply in 90 hours. So you can text him even now. He will reply. And they still working for amazing company. So I think really the guy push a lot. And say so people feel the vibes. Like this true want to push, and every meeting was different. Every month was raising the bar till we start in September. We already said, okay, stop it in December. Let's do a workshop to understand what the committee wants, where we are, how potentially to monetize or do the gig and so forth. I think I cover more or less everything.
Maybe a few words about the community vision, because you just said a word about it, but and how the objective have evolved since inception. So you were mentioning that your meeting with Praj and Carlo was foundational to building this community, and the Lenny newsletter as well. And you mentioned about the events, the first events you guys did, where you were raising the bar. And is there anything to add to this first steps of the
Yeah.
community?
So from Lenny, what was amazing is have a strong mission, and we decided after some events foster product culture in Berlin, and this give already what you want to do in life and why you're doing what you're doing. Without a vision, we don't know if we're gonna become just a community like we are, I mean, stronger or more established, or we do an event. Or there's many time way to go outside the community, let's say monetize or make it profitable in a way, not because of money, but because that means for us to do full-time employment for ourselves. And that's why we don't have a clear vision, because we don't say we want to be this on that, but we have this mission, and the values is more or less really collaborative people. We push beyond, and not just with the three people at the beginning, also with Sonia, Emily joined later, Mara, and now even Aru. There are people that basically they serve some niche of the need of the community. They push the ownership of that, so you can rely on them, and they also come with their ideas, and you might because maybe of the age, or like they did but for first time, you have to lead them or support them. But like as a PM, there's a different type of leading, especially when it's a collaborative and volunteer job. So that's how the original purpose. I think it moved a lot. Now we are talking about, okay, how to be sustainable. At the beginning was just, okay, how we can go beyond grit and meat from the Lenny support. And there is thousands of ideas. I mean, thousands of ideas, but still keep focus. And still keep reading. I think we are still a lot to learn and to do.
Let's move on to the next step and the next stage, and what and you were mentioning, I think, one of them, which is probably the main and the first one, the challenges you faced while establishing this community, and how did you manage to overcome them. And I'm guessing that getting the first participants was probably the first challenge you had to move on.
So from my side, I was always amazed by data. So we said with Carlo, hey, let's do an Eventbrite with tough questions. So you can already kind of close people. We say we don't really rely on Meetup. It became a bit shallow on the quality of people and how they treat Meetup. Unfortunately, I think it's a great application, but like doesn't give you the certainty of people. And I like also the styling of Ryanair overbooking. So we already work at the beginning, like, okay, if we want to achieve 50, maybe we have to give it 80 tickets or 90 tickets. So that's why Damian will come in place. He already said to us, the guys, we have 55, 60% of show up, and we work in overbooking all the time. And say so, it helped a lot to balance and to make it to people like, oh, wow, something's going on. At the time, I was still working. So we did products in a highly regulated market. It was one for a legal operation. It was our first speaker was also a friend of mine. And the second one, Praj, found this amazing guy from a bank, actually, and Quanto at the end of the day. And he also explained how Quanto, how Berlin, they do what they're doing and how to be. And so it was really niche, but it was also because I need for my company. The founder of my company, Mike, was also sponsoring it, supporting, and we organizing a white label. We say like somewhere where you still have to pay for staying there, and it was a bit costly. So this was when I first challenge. We say, okay, what we learn? We learn like the speakers. We have to call them up way earlier and not last minute. They have their life and this for free. So they build you hope to have the presentation 1 week before, 2 weeks before. No, the presentation is like in 2-3 days, if you're lucky, or even the last second. We learned that we had to reach out companies way earlier and better with a proper lineup. Sometimes I just, hey, I'm Daniele, I'm doing this and that. Can you check? I was supposed to check my LinkedIn after we call. No, you have to make a proper intro. And also being sure was a challenge that the Lenny newsletter liked what we were doing, which was different than Beer and Grace. So for me, was my biggest concern. for a lot of time. Like, what happened if they change mind? We rely on them, but if they change mind, there is nothing in place, and we don't cannot ask, you know. And we overcome with communication. We ask, hey, can we have a chat? What do you think about us? What you want is fine, and we open up where we are. Till the moment that we got this Christmas community event with Lenny, just 1 hour with him, the first and the last, because it doesn't give so much time to the community normally. And it's super interesting, these two, but it's another chapter. So I had a chance to speak to him 1 minute and I froze. I was so much happy, so much venerate this person that is super humble, he push for high quality, and he support people around the globe. That I was like, just to say thank you. I want to have thousands of questions. Like, thank you. It was like frozen. I said, sorry, guys. And I meet also an amazing and important people. Like I don't know, it was a mentor at Green Tech Festival, and it was a Formula One pilot, a friend of mine, or I don't know. I mean, I didn't miss meeting great people, but with Lenny, I just froze. It's like it was, oh my god. So this more or less, I hope I recap the initial challenges. The second challenge came, you raise the bar, you find new challenges. And there was in LinkedIn, like I could be with you. Okay, this is Matei, and there was Leah. Leah, basically, I love one post of her about how to design the CV, and so it kept my mind in this marketing funnel of writers. And at a certain moment, she always on LinkedIn, and say, okay, let's write. Leah. Hey, Leah, how you doing? I'm Daniele. What means, I mean, not like I want you, what means to bring you in Berlin and be you a speaker, professional speaker, so forth. And she was super open, like, you can do this and this and this and cost this and that and that. Hope you understand. I say, I understand, but we are a community with no money. My pitch was, we are a community with no money, a lot of passion. We love you. And if you come to Berlin, it would be great. That's And she said, okay, don't worry for the money. I have a good friend that can support you. And my first reaction was like, oh my God, I want to have these friends. Then other important things, be yourself on the community. Like a lot of people already said to me, Daniele, you cannot say fuck words. You have to be like this. You have to be like this. No, I feel like you become just neutral. If you don't keep your values, your vibes, your personality, you sooner will lose the direction, like understanding why we're doing that. It's like in certain moment we be so on the loop that's you wake up one morning and say, okay, but you know what, I'm not learning anymore, no, and I'm not anymore myself. So that was the thing. I said, like, okay, and that's born the idea, okay, let's do January a biggest event, I don't know, more people. I had a place, we had a sponsor, Amplitude, with the amazing Esther. She's basically the community manager of Amplitude and cohort. She said, okay, it's a tough meeting. It was like, why are you doing what you're doing and why you want to collaborate with us? And I felt like she does a better job interview than all the people interviewing me so far. So if you want someone cool, someone you can really learn, go to Esther, not don't prepare a case study. I will send the people who send me the case study to send them to talk with Esther. She's so great that and so keen on question and ROI and why you're doing things and how to have the feedback that I learn more from her interview. I don't want, I mean, when I'm trying to be honest, it's like I don't want to mislead other people. I think in general I meet a lot of great people, but I try to highlight the top best thing of specific one, still keeping the other really great, but you find these champions. And I want to share with people. So like, and with others, oh my God, okay. And I remember for this event, I worked 10 times more to be sure that Amplitude was happy. She was flying from Lyon to Berlin. Leah was coming from Switzerland to Berlin. A lot of people, angel investors, CPO joined the event. We had like 150 to 200 people on waiting list. The main space, they say, we are sorry, we don't give you any more the space because we think is not aligned, blah, blah, blah. So the first host, and I screw up, I said, oh my God, and now? I mean, we have everything, sponsor and everything, and after it's okay, let's ping half Berlin in the November, December. And I remember there was a guy from Bubble and it was in November. I said, hey, please, can we do an event at Bubble? I know the event space is amazing. I've been there. You're great. The app is great. And the guy, even though he said to me, I'm not going to be in Berlin, I'm going to be in America. So he lost the chance to be a speaker or there with Leah. He said, I'm going to help you. And he's being the champion. So these champions are basically our main asset. They introduced me to X, one of the best brand strategy and people and culture you can ever meet. So kind and so open, and he loves branding and people, like for real. And we did this amazing event. He also was super sweating because I overbooked, and this time I say I don't think my percentage gonna work. So I remember I start to send 3 or 4 messages, like mostly blackmail. Hey, if you don't come, we ban you. Like, and we have a drop of 40 tickets, and all these 40 tickets just cancel them. So I shrink from 200 tickets to 160 tickets. And the guy said, Daniele, after under, I was on the number, after under 20 people, for security reason, fire security, we are in Germany. You have to understand that you can be yourself, but you have to understand rules. People gonna stay out of the door. And we arrived to under 24. It's just like super. Yes, yes. So this was another learning. Like, yes, it's amazing. A main speaker, Lea Tarina, man, Amate is like, it's fun. It's not just about product. It's just about learning. It's fun. She has this energy of be herself, direct, and so forth. But also I have to learn. I mean, I also learn bad things. Like I've been too myself. I did memes on memes, and this also caused me problems. Not our feeling. I think I'm in good relation with Leah, but for sure it creates some small friction with our scared about, because she's here, and like you cannot see on the screen, but like read down. It's like, Daniel, you cannot screw up this relation, no? So yes, be yourself, while you have to understand there are people that they have their own personality, they have their own LinkedIn influence, their own things, their own agenda, and you have to combine them and not overcome them, and not make them feel out of the comfort zone, I would say. So understand this comfort zone is super important in my journey and my future journey as a PM in general. So this is maybe the biggest learn from the amplitude. After came, and also another learn, public speaker is amazing, but it comes with a but. Doesn't bring community. It's not what we saw. People come to the event because want to learn, find a job, especially in this timing. They want to understand the people and culture of this company. Leah acquire CPO or angels, which are not bad, but they are another type of ICP, which is completely different from the community. So they're not community people. They are maybe your next champions, which we have. So it's really important the dynamics of this person generate with the community. You say, so then what is the outcome? The outcome, the aftermath is amazing. It's like the branding went poof. Like Berlin community manager with lettering after 4 events, who they are, how come they have this branding from Lenny, and that's it. After came again HelloFresh, was easy peasy because Carlo, of course, working there. I mean, it's super nice. I mean, we call it home. I don't know if anyone of HelloFresh knows me, but like for me, it's home because the event space is amazing for under 40 people. We call Matteo, Italian guy who built Airbnb since 2012. And he brought his experience, Airbnb, and also Tax Fixer. I guess on a certain moment, there is the problem is there is the building is, and the event space is like there is a main door with the entrance, and after is a L shape to come to the event. So at a certain moment, it was like 96 people, and I said, okay, maybe they don't want to come so many, or we should start. And after a PM came to me and said, hey, Daniel, but you know there is a line outside the building, and not a little line, a huge line. I went there, and basically the poor guys of the entrance, they finished the ticket because HelloFresh or big company require you to double register for themselves plus us. So basically they finished this machine, and there was like 40 people waiting outside. And I remember it was amazing because I said, okay, guys, we have all the information. Let's come. And they said to everybody, like it was an airport, please, 3 or 4 lines, like read German wise one by one. And we were like 4 hours scanning, boom, boom, boom. And like in 3 seconds, we fill up the audience. And it was one of the best events because it was less stress. Matteo was amazing. He's also a Substack writer now. A lot of learning, and also from HelloFresh, they always bringing good quality content. So of course, those kind of company can give you a VP product. A VP product they build a lot already. So this kind of learning people enjoy. I feel sometimes it's too technical, but is really deep dive in real time. You not have to read a book or something. And of course, you can make questions. So that's building every day foundation. And the story with Leia, Amplitude, and Bubble, I think are the best one within HelloFresh.
Just to sum it up and make sure I understood. So you're saying basically that one of the right thing you did when starting this was finding the right speakers from the start and the right champions as well, and that's kind of power up and boosted, well, branding visibility of your community and also participation, right? So that's what's foundational in the launching of the community.
I think it was like we decided to have really good speakers from the beginning and go deep on the presentation. So we are quite keen on deep dive and making hard question to the speaker or when on the selection, and is cleaning a lot the mess. And also people say, "Wow, I'm really learning." They had to come back with, "I learning something today." Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's great. I want to come back a bit about your allies and the people you're collaborating with inside the community, and not only the speakers and the people you may come, but how did you get about finding those first allies, collaborators, and maybe most importantly, because you already told a few words about that, what value, what qualities did you look into those people to be able to say like, okay, this is going to work, it's going to be fun and efficient to work together?
Valid question, because a lot of other community people ask me the same and they struggle with it. I think first is the energy, and me, Carlo, and Prajo were already pretty different. So you can already have different mingling or different attachment. It came quite spontaneous. Sonia, she was in Poland at the time. She texted me in summer, "Hey, great to meet you. I want to come to Berlin," so on and so forth. And after I just forget about it. And then one day ping me and say, "Hey, Danny, how are you doing things? Because I lose money." But she was super young. And they say, "It's normal. I also was losing money, but now it's like a different story." And that's I like the spirit. She was really eager, keen. She already organized a landing community in Poland, and said, "Okay, just join us when you move to Berlin." And she joined, and then she gave it like this marketing or product marketing manager aspect, of course. And at certain moment, like how to finalize, we fucked up a few times, and especially we learn like understand the values and the agenda of people. I remember a product designer came to us, and when we give a list of things to do, we say like, "Yes, I'm a senior. Why should I do this list?" And maybe the agenda was different. Maybe the guy want to be a mentor or a coach, and they say, "Dude, I have a lineup of mentor and coach if you need, and an EP list to provide for free. Like, why we need an internal for doing what we're doing? We're just doing by doing, no?" But it was really fun. I mean, we spent 2-3 hours chatting and so on so forth, and so at the end of the day, it's like what you're looking for. It not be a coincidence. We are all now we are 7 really into learning and make it like networking, because someone is freelance, someone is looking for a job, someone want a better network. Prash say, "I just have fun. I want to do." And but Prash, basically, I never saw someone go to meeting the speaker so prepared, and he reads so much already. Not like I'm prepared for the event. He prepared since years. So he bring this kind of skill set. So at the end, it's like commitment, skill set you provide. We decide to meet weekly every Wednesday, and people show up weekly. And we have a WhatsApp group where we kind of celebrate, or we are happy about ourselves, and try to understand this volunteer job. Like Carlo has a job, Emily has a job. So basically, try to this. This is still problematic for me, especially because now I lost a job, so I have more time than them. but they're all proactive. And after like Mar came, it was a collaboration with the Spice Academy. So I want to say thank you to Nick Stube and Marie. So we say, okay, we need a new branding for January, this event. Let's do a collaboration. So it was a bootcamp people. They did an amazing, outstanding job. There was three guys and two guys and Mar. And she was really keen, really passionate about design, and she wanted to build a portfolio. She saw an opportunity to do interesting things for real life while looking for a job. And she just said, okay, I was spontaneous. Say, do you want to join the team? With Emily already doing the same. So it's like how you balance that was Emily was already great on the marketing and the communication. So she took the ownership of the newsletter. Just her take and do the newsletter, and it's fine because you trust her. She's doing an quality better than all together. Mar does design, and at a certain moment we did I'm into photography, but also think it's really part of the branding of this feeling experience while you talk with social media newsletter, and that's why we should look for photographer. So was good the first of bubble, but basically is not looking for free or collaboration or volunteering. And Aru was in the right time, super young, passionate photographer. The quality is outstanding. I said, like, guys, she's really good. And we were quite, especially with freelancer, you have to be sure that is the learning is there. Hey, this is a volunteer job. Everybody put time with their effort, with their skill set. Not because you're a photographer, you deserve money and we don't. So if you want to join, it's like this. These are rules, but of course there is visibility, and of course we try to give feedback how to grow as a freelancer. And she joined, and the photography is like we boosted again, like boom, boom, boom. What I didn't, or what was the problem? I mean, is a person that maybe connect us on LinkedIn or like you also interview. I admire. I think she's one of the best PM in Berlin. I had this amazing thinking in my mind. Oh, should we join our team? We can do this cohorts, which is our paid version. I pushed so fast because I tried to be between December, a boot camp, no time, a lot of stress, and the community was growing and so on so forth. So at the end, I feel like it didn't work. First, for different agendas, even though she was great, but I think she has so much in her plate that for us it would be slower, and she has to be what she is. We were not ready. I was not ready. So that's I feel sad because I was a great team member that it could boost, but also we understood it was not same people and culture. The interpretation of community was way different than ours, and the little things, and so that was to be sure on this topic. Because if you bring in a team of 7 a person which is almost a star, or at least for me, you unbalance the journey, and they say, okay, better to, I mean, it was common sense to say, okay, guys, doesn't work, but we still can collaborate in another form. And for me, it was a journey. It's like, okay, phew, like I didn't born this person. It's not like you live in bad terms, and even for you, it's great. You cannot chat anymore. And this was the biggest achievement of this year, I would say. And also was the biggest learning. So basically, we set again. I say this kind of people cannot be part of the team. They are too good to be with us, unless it's became already with a job offer or something else, and they are not patient enough to for the long journey. So they might be freelancer that they see work as a freelancer, not as a founder, which is a different type of people. You can be both, of course, but it's different. So that's now we evaluating a different other people. Of course, there are other people they organized before they want to join, but Carlos said, guys, we are kind of another things I maybe didn't mention. This is really important. We're a football team of professional. So is yes, we call it family, but I think calling a company or even a volunteer job family is misleading. People feel like they can do stuff. It's a professional team because you should onboard and offboard people based on what they're doing and if they're motivated. If they're not motivated, they should go somewhere else. Even though they did a great job, like a football. Sometimes it's really bad or really sad. Someone gives a lot for, I don't know, many years and after you get late, but they how they grow. And say so about this football, how we met. but also because Carlos said, Daniele, I'm sorry, not more onboarding every month a new person, because also the costs go up, I don't know, clothing and so forth. Every January, session market of January and the session market of June, you can find new volunteers. And we do it with a proper process. So that's was also another big journey is Carlo. Carlo is really balancing me out on operation. He's a kind of our CFO and COO, but it's really balancing me all my ideas, all the other people ideas to make a kind of a structure that works. That's how we compensate. So we have really good people for specific stuff, and of course other people want to join. But sometimes people want to join without knowing that you have to work. So I don't know how it works in life, Mattei. I don't know. You're a founder, but can you tell me like how works? The people want to join a volunteer job, and then when you explain to them you have to work between 5 and 10 hours, so you have to have a certain income or importance. If you want to build something, they kind of I thought was different. So please tell me this. If you can answer that, please.
Well, I have no better answer than you. I would expect as well to have to work to if I'm getting involved into something. So and somehow we have the same thing with the product competence community we are launching now. I think it's a matter of just directly sharing the foundations. Like, okay, there is something you can get out of this, as you said earlier. You get exposure, you maybe get some job offer through this, you might get some new customers if you are a freelancer through this, so you will get something in return. But to get something in return, you need to give something, and that's where it starts. It starts with first giving and then eventually getting something back. So I think it's just about being very clear about that from the get to go. But not everyone has this understanding out of the door, I must say. So it's better to just talk about it. Thank you for sharing also some of the failures or some of the mistakes you've done along the way, because I think that's also how people can learn even better and from this mistake and try to not make them maybe when they will do the same thing as you did. And so talking a bit about maybe now the future, and what you see as first a strategy to grow now and to grow your engagement, and to step by step keep building this momentum that you started to build with the first layers of this structure and community you built.
The next stage is more data driven. So we run everything in Excel sheet, growth, rainy or Tuesday or Thursday, even a simple data. But we like to optimize more. So I did a bootcamp with Levagon with amazing team members, Shubi and Dominic. And there's another story. Dominic was a professional dancer, and now he's a really good data guy, and he's going for sure find a job. So this is another collaboration we do, especially with schools. Even though it's not really collaboration, it's more like me. I was in the same team, and we're gonna go farther the bootcamp. So we kind of for growth make it the entrance easier. So we just ask the LinkedIn, and from there we can work in our data to understand why people are coming, who they are coming, and the next step is to become profitable. So more or less now our operation is down to zero. We can have an extra budget, I don't know, for quarter gathering between us. But beside that, is a completely volunteer job. I mean, it's unprofitable if you want to say, but it's not an extra expense for us, which, for example, in many other companies I built was my problem. I lose money. This at least going to plus little, but it's a plus. So bidding cohorts, we decide, okay, there is a lot on the market in ed tech for product managers. We still want to keep our value with this community, like have the chance to people. And what I see is not much in the market is like the mentors stay with you after the course for a while. Because after you're always learning, I say, oh, great, I learn. You go, and it's like, okay, but it's not what I learned. It's like life is a bit different, no? It's like sales cycle. Like in my case for corporate governance, like you have to have different type of user. I mean, you're a sales guy, but you know what means saying this process if you're alone. And that's why we thought, okay, it has to be community driven, community led, and learning. So that's a real learning, like in our style. We struggle, even that, we struggle with the people. Finally, we found an amazing Italian guy, Rosario, who also collaborates with Product Heroes. He's an amazing guy. 25. He's my way to, if you need a person that study, analyze companies. He's not an advisor, a financial advisor, but he is really good at understanding for his age and even, I mean, sorry if I always say age, I feel old. That's why I say always age. But like he's 25 and he has some thoughts about companies and why they work out we face soon. That's for me, it's like, oh man, you should be working VC company rather than just to be a PM. So he joined us for the marketing stuff. So we're going slower on that. We say, guys, we have to fix the pricing, understanding our stuff. One of the mistake was we kind of give it to the other member the discovery, which was one of the mistake. You never don't do the discovering yourself, even as a co-founder. But I felt I missed why people need us. I need to understand pricing, and I need to do this interview, gain it back. So this was the stuff, and of course, not because we have a community, people gonna pay for us. Even the money is coming from the company. The situation in the market is so messy at the moment that people are even scared to spend money they should have theoretically all the time for that. So that's I say, okay, Daniele, go slower. That's was time. Do marketing funnel, bottom of the funnel, listen people, like not be like okay because we are community gonna be like really listen people and do slower. So this one thing is this cohort. Another thing is going around. Many people go around, but I'm still scared about a tech event in Berlin. Doesn't exist for product managers, but we have competition of friends. It depends how you want to see. It could be friends, it could be competition. Like too close, I feel is a competition. A bit far, it become a friend. I also study a lot wars, like history. Sorry, not wars, but like after Second World War and how things happen and why. But I don't know if there is some risk. You can see in history, like if it's too close, you have the same garden. If it's too far, you feel you can go trade. That's my feeling. So when it comes to partnership and allies, I felt like too close is might be in the same garden on the same audience, and it become more or less someone called the area. Why too far it start to be more like this trade or supporting each other because it's cross-linking rather than same audience. So what I found interesting, and we start to build a strong partnership with Product Heroes, led by Marco Imperato, and he's kind of mentoring us. The guy did a product manager community more than a decade, and he get tons of feedback. He might be interested also invest on us. So it's like a lot. It's like strong. We might go to Milano with the team and so forth. And what I see is quite interesting, growing is the ex Miro, which you know this term of mafia from PayPal and the company. There are great people they build there in hypergrowth. So one is a Kate that does writing about growth. Another one is Elena. They build a Miroverse. So they also left Miro after the hypergrowth phase, and they doing also Substack, writing, podcasts, and so forth. Why I think they're amazing. And within, I met recently that is also outstanding from Switzerland, is Bushra. Also, she's quite famous on LinkedIn. Why? Because they have is they're different than us. First of all, I think they add this their CV or career. That means, hey, I was in this top company, I built this top stuff, so I'm good. And people already have this bias. Why for us, it came like we are no one. Nobody hear about us, but we believe in community, no? And we want to make it like the ecosystem better, not for just the individual, but like in the tech scene in Berlin. But I found interesting those people because they are far, so they want to trade with us, let's say, or a connection. They are keen to spend time with us to learn together, but also on the same journey. They are growing in the same moment, on the same feeling, with the same vibes. And this is the best way if you want to do partnership ever. I don't know if you can apply on sales. Maybe you can give your feedback, your thoughts. What is the solution? But this is my takeaway for community building.
It totally makes sense, and I would say that as soon as you have but maybe you said something a bit different. So you will tell me. Maybe I misunderstood you. But I think the main is having a similar audience or connected audience, and having dissimilar products, let's say, or dissimilar value brought to the audience. So as soon as you can have I feel a significantly good and profitable partnership for both, as soon as your audience actually are crossing to some extent, maybe very deeply, maybe just marginally, but your product either completes each other, which is probably the best scenario ever. And you can think about technical integrations between products, right? In the product management world, it would be about deep technical integration, co-selling something from two different companies. Those strategies are great
Yeah.
partnership sales motions. And so I think it applies in the same exact way with communities. So the audience should cross, and the product should either complete each other, either be just one next to another, answering to different values for the same audience, pretty much.
Yeah, I would say so. Also, if you don't want to go so far, you can be super close. So in with Berlin, the partnership, it works pretty well for us. With Handpick Berlin, led by Igor Rancher. It's amazing because the guy talk about tech scene in Germany, in Berlin, with job opportunities. Now he does a survey about pay scales and so on and so forth. Another one was two people from our community. They create a sub community, which also find interesting. We want to support at least, like, answer the question is once they amply they do just tech jobs in Berlin and Germany. Another one is quite interesting, and because I live in Turkey, also quite important to me, is Turkish product managers. So the nature there is different, and I also sometimes enjoy more because I'm not the organizer. Is few people with the dynamics of 10, 15 people, where you can really share yourself beyond product. So our community is about product management. Their community is like, we are product managers, most of them with some Turkey connection, but we are people. So it's kind of, we say, different way to why product management is the common or the intersection. So yeah, let's say, like, for us, more the common, for them is the intersection, but they go outside, and you discover this outside, which for us, in the dynamics of 100, under 50 people, is a bit difficult. Or at least I don't know exactly what other people talking about, because I'm busy. While there, you cannot be that busy because it's you can do a restaurant or a coffee time.
Let's jump into the future of Berlin product manager community. What's your aspirations, for the Berlin product manager community? Are there any new initiatives, new projects you're excited to launch in the this year, or maybe in the upcoming weeks, months?
Okay, sure. Thank you, Matej, for the great question. So we work a lot to raise the bar. We have a really upcoming great companies, especially for summer. The summer is vibes. I call potential because we're not sure if they're gonna say yes, but normally I feel confident. We're gonna do our main event for September in one of the more interesting fintech we have in Berlin. So it's easy to retrace who. And if it's going well, it's going to be 250 people. So main event with the 4 speakers, top stuff, also writers. And our main goal is also having CPO or leaders female. So we're going to do a November event with 3 top CPOs in Berlin area. And all 3 are outstanding. And we want to conclude the year, of course, the year with Christmas. And Christmas we double. We be one Christmas with the speaker and mentors. So like how to give them a proper audience within their type of networking, which is different than the community, and finish with a proper event in Christmas. What beyond behind this side gig, a different topic, different want to reach out in reach in every event. there is going on this main event, but I think it's too late for this year and to learn more. So it might be for the next year. I'm really in love with the cohort idea because it's gonna be a marketplace, mentors, and the community people with the community inside. So it's something I really feel I can. Is it, the event it be possible? Still scare me, but like cohort, I feel like is me with the other we are building on. So it's something I will wake up every day to do it. The event I feel a bit less, and I don't normally like too much to chase people, especially because if it's become professional speakers, is a different dynamic. It's dynamic you're gonna ask tickets for the community and so forth. So that's me. Um, and after we don't miss ideas. I mean, I push a lot on collaboration a lot. The most outstanding, I think, is with Tally. They give us a free Tally forever. It is our for builder, and the founders are great. And she actually, one of the CPOs, she will come to Berlin in November. Another collaboration really good is Jama from the debugging. They did a small collaboration, but also for the main event, the founder come and speak. And why it's so important is collaboration. They understand we are a community and they put company money for the travel expenses. This is how they promote it. They want to be for us. Uh, and um, and I think more to come. Other thing, I think other events gonna join us or ask us to do collaboration. We saw already coming. We're gonna do this collaboration in Italy and more and more and more. More podcasts I would like to do. More for I think PR is great. Um, but yes, I put in place all the learnings I have for these great people. Like buy the book, just take some learning from Lenny and from Tally, how they do communication and marketing, and just day by day try to apply. Which is not like okay, ending up with Mattei and doing the podcast. But it's like all the preparation to get to this point, which is a lot.
Steps, and you already done really a lot in the past 6 months. So and how do you see, the maybe the future challenges, and maybe also your place in the community, because I understand that you have different aspirations, you are really strongly involved, and you're putting a lot of energy in this community. But how does it look the future for you, and maybe the future challenges you already envision and you have to overcome?
Think is a big topic because I have a lot of curiosity, and I think it's still hard to cover all the topics in product management in Berlin. Uh, we are still to discuss with Sonia, but part of me is a product marketing manager. It's not just a or community is part under product marketing, let's call it. And there's a lot to learn and know what's going on. So we're thinking about, okay, marketing is really tied to data. So maybe we should have a double event monthly, one more into product management, which was our first love, and with this encompass everything, but another one into marketing data, really specific one. Tackle the both, not just one on one. There is already a great communities about data, and they're doing great, but it's not my thing. So try to grow in the things that you're passionate about, but that you feel a part of it, and not like I would never do. I'm not sure. I mean, never say never, but it would be hard to me to do events for data people. Because yes, I study data, but I think you have to be really passionate about, really keen every day to learn about data, which is another field, another job, the product management. Even though the overlapping is important for our career. So that's to understand to grow in this way, which means maybe Sonia or maybe other people gonna grow their own team. Maybe we split apart. Maybe we be an umbrella for everyone and understand how to get more money, or become a proper company. Also, it's a big challenge because we have to do it sooner or later. And will cohort work or not? A lot of people say, guys, we're doing great. We're gonna work for sure, or something else gonna work out. Let's say yes for personal gain, but also, as I said, the biggest challenge will be for me, but for a lot of people, stay humble and starving, like our Apple friend. Because being humble, you're still always open to opportunities and to all the people, and not what I saw in Berlin or like in general, like people balancing you. Who you are you? If I get personal gain, I chat with you, And that's why, for example, why we choose and pick Berlin, and we don't go to other newsletter. We do the same, because the value was not similar, and we understand that people maybe sometimes do it for ego or for fanciness. So be aware for that, and I hope not to become that. That's my slap me. Come to Berlin one day. Slap me if I become this person. So that's, I think, the future challenge, to be humble and listening a lot.
Really so interesting, and I think that every product people will go away from this interview with a lot of takeaways. I think that community and partnership is such an important part of our role. Collaboration, all in all, is also a big part, and we've talked about that a lot on this podcast. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be of value for the community. Thank you so much for all this, Daniele. Any words you would like to add to wrap it up and conclude this great interview?
Matej, thank you a lot for your time, because of course I feel the passion from you. You're so, I would say, funny in a good way. Like the energy is coming out of the screen. I hope to meet you in Berlin, and read a lot. Not, I mean, the audience. There are amazing newsletter, but also focus. I came with 200 unread message during summer last year, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna read just Lenny and 3 to 1 from Atomic Habits, which inspired me. So try to have inspiration, learning, and personal growth. 3 maximum, not like you cannot do everything. So this being focused. My recommendations for myself: being focused and being humble.
Love it. Great words to conclude. Thank you so much, Daniele.
Bye.
Talk soon.